Hey friends, this is Dolany TV. Glad to have you aboard today as we get set up to discuss the huge news coming down at 12 noon Mountain Time here in Alberta as the Oilers have placed 3 players on waivers to get set up for tomorrow's formalized roster at I believe 3 or 5 p.m. on Monday. Thanksgiving dinner could be a very interesting conversation if you have an Oilers fan in your house. Of course, this next 24 hours could be a very interesting conversation. Let's get to the first thing right away here, friends. Cue up graphic number 1. The Oilers have placed Raphael Lavoie, Lane Peterson, and defenseman Ben Gleason on waivers ahead of today's kind of deadline to do that. Today is the final deadline to put players on waivers to clear space for your formalized roster tomorrow. So there you have it. Raphael Lavoie, Lane Peterson, and Ben Gleason, all 3 guys who really pushed hard during camp, were in line to possibly get spots, whether it be Peterson or Lavoie. Gleason, the number 1 call-up from the Bakersfield Condors in case of a defensive emergency this season. It is crazy to see Lavoie on waivers to me. We talked all about it would be a trade, not obviously a situation where you see him go on waivers. There is one player here who's not on waivers that we'll talk about in a moment that makes something tick, tick, tick up here. But friends, if you are new to the channel, I need you to consider hitting this subscribe button here on Dolany TV. I'd love to have you aboard for everything during this NHL season. We are about to enter starting Wednesday night against the Vancouver Canucks. Cue up graphic number 2 because, that's graphic number 1. Graphic number 2, go back to it. Adam Erne here. Well, what do we know about Adam Erne? He's still around as far as last checked here. Things are going to change. Things are going to change rather substantially here in the matter of moments. And so, yeah, this is exactly where we're at. We'll get to this next one right here. I just got the information in from south of the border there. But Adam Erne, PTO guy, right? He's a guy that right now the Oilers have to either find a spot for, which they possibly have, by sending Peterson and, of course, Lavoie on to waivers. Or, well, guess what? There is one other option here, and this makes sense, is you've got right now Markus Niemelainen still up with the big club, not on the waiver wire. So there's a couple of things here. Niemelainen is going to be playing game 1 against Vancouver because one of Kulak or Ekholm are banged up. You needed the cap space. That's why you waived both Peterson and Lavoie, and you're going to start with 11 forwards this year. That could make sense. That is the easiest, most explainable route here. Secondary to that, Markus Niemelainen is a little bruised up this training camp. He might be injured, and somehow, some way, the configuration works out better for the Oilers to keep him up here. Yes, cap space-wise, it absolutely does, so potentially that's the case. Third, you've got a trade somewhere in here. You've potentially got a trade happening in the background, whether it be with Markus Niemelainen, whether it be with another player, and keeping Markus Niemelainen around is just a key piece of making the cap space work. I'm not 100% sure on that, obviously, because you think we would have read something here, but this one from, basically, if I open up the Twitter machine here, so this one from at B. Curlock on Twitter, big Bakersfield Condors coverage man. Niemelainen has to be hurt, or Ekholm and Kulak are more banged up than suggested. Injured players are not permitted on waivers. I'm betting injuries. So there you go. That would explain, like I'm saying, more or less it's either one of Kulak or Ekholm are injured, so Niemelainen will play game 1 of the season, which again, he's our number 8. That explains it. Gleason tried to steal that role. Kind of problem number 2 is if Niemelainen's hurt, he's the number 8 and has to be on the roster no matter what until he's healthy. So a very, very important day here for the Oilers. But again, as you can see, I'm flabbergasted that Raphael Lavoie did end up at the end of the day on waivers. Lane Peterson did as well, and Ben Gleason, yes, we knew he was going to end up there, but a very good showing to get to the very final moment of training camp for a guy who has not played in the NHL in some time, for Ben Gleason. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolany TV. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. Really appreciate you being aboard. The Oilers are eating it in terms of how angry fans are. I wonder what the comments section below is going to look like. Have fun. Go check it out. I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm up on out of here.